the stats, they read a little bit weak for the Swift, but those talented guys at Suzuki have got extra speed, grip, and power out of this little beauty in places others can't find. It's on a level with the C2 for style and quality, and is definitely one of the best in its class. The Renault Clio is a neat little number. It's older than the Swift and the C2, but it's got the most power, and it's the lightest too. You can see why it's still competing and winning rallies today with that kind of quality. The Peugeot 307 is an old favorite because of its quick gear changes and its ability to grip out of the corners. It's all very fast, which is great, but the downside is that it doesn't like too much knocking around. If you like hugging walls and Armco, I might give this one a miss. Now this car is cool, quick and aggressive. Similar to the Subaru, but has a tendency to get a little loose in the rear. It makes for fun driving, but you need a bit of skill to control it. The Subaru Impreza certainly makes an impression on the eye. It's a good, strong car. It's a little front-end heavy. It's got strong power and torque. This car is more than suitable for the straight, fast routes. The Delta S4 had its moment in the sun when Group B shut down in the late 80s. Today it's still unrivaled for power and torque, and it's got a short wheelbase to boot. It's like the Peugeot 205 for speed and aggression, so if you can crack this monster, you'll be unbeatable. Colin won his first World Rally title with the 95 Subaru, so it's clear that this car is close to his heart. It was a revolution in its time, but a complete redesign of the engine gives the car the edge over its competitors. The Phenom Stratos has even more power and torque than its good old dad from the 70s. Millionaire playboys like the look of it, and you can see why. It's a smart number to have on the track. The Maxi Turbo has certainly got what it takes on tarmac with its improved 350 horsepower engine that gives it that extra punch to compete with the rest of its class. The engine is located in the rear mid-section of the car, and the only downside is that it surprisingly understeers a touch. The Lancia Stratos is a bit of a dinosaur. It had groundbreaking power and torque in its day, but it's simply too noisy and brutal for the demands of modern rally. It struggles on gravel, but it's still got what it takes on tarmac. Powerful speed. This is lighter than Aaron Halley's Super Buggy and produces more horsepower. It's got a shorter wheelbase, which makes it faster than the opposition. Before you run out and buy it, though, it does get a bit rough through jumps and landings, so make sure you measure the jumps before you take flight. This is a dirt-churning beast, but that's the way the famous McMillan stable like it. It's very stable over any terrain thanks to its long wheelbase. It's got a little less speed than its competitors, but it does have great torque. Driven well, it can compete with anything. Monster Tajima takes the Suzuki Escudo to his garage, and every year it comes back a little bit faster. It's now up to 800 horsepower, but keeps a good weight. All the latest technology is pumping through its veins, and it's definitely up there with the best hill climb cars in the world. The Quattro used to be one of my favorites when it competed with the 405 as one of the best hill climb cars in the world. Now, sadly, it doesn't have the power or technology to play with the big boys, but it's still got the chops to rip up the mountain with ease, and it makes for one raw hill climb experience. This has awesome power and huge amounts of torque, which I like, and it stands out as one of the best in its class. However, it's got poor weight distribution, mainly to the front, and this gives a tendency to nosedive off jumps. This car has a lot of promise, but will always shy away from its full potential. The Lotus is light, and with its rear-wheel drive is very quick off the grid. It may not have the straight line and cornering ability of some cars in its class, but gets the first corner in first place, and there'll be no stopping it. I love this four-wheel drive. It's not got the power of the Saab, but its shorter wheelbase and active differentials mean it's more nimble and reliable in the corners. If you want to win easy, and who doesn't, this is the car you need. Four-wheel drive and over 500 horsepower. Sweet stuff. The only car to be able to truly compete with the Citroen.